The Euros. Right. Firstly, it's been played in, two countries filled with controversy. Poland, Ukraine. Seen a lot in the media about racism. Racism seems to come hand in hand with football these days, which is not an ideal thing. Obviously, it's not an ideal thing with any sport or topic, but it always seems to be there with football. Which is why it seems an odd choice to put it into places where, two places that are renowned for having quite bad racism. But I think so far, 90% of the press coverage seems to show that they've done alright. I heard about at the Dutch training grounds, some people came up and started doing some racist stuff there, which obviously is terrible. But apart from that, unless I haven't been watching the news now, I don't think I've seen any more. So fingers crossed they can do what they should be doing and welcome every ethnicity apart from Chepstonians. I don't think there's any playing, so I could be racist towards my own type. Blech. So John Terry's a bell end. I feel harsh saying that. I've never met the guy. I don't like to form an opinion on someone based on media alone, because the media can be a really twisted thing. But I mean, you look at all the things that John Terry's been covered for, and it does seem as if he is a bell end. And I think that's probably 90% of the country would agree with me. He could be a really nice guy. If I met him, could be the nicest guy in the world, but going by what's happened, you'd think he's a bit of a bell end. So I was, obviously being a United fan, I was very disappointed that Rio wasn't selected. I think he deserved the place. No disrespect to anyone else that was selected. You've got to look, realistically, Rio was a better player than some of the other defenders that we brought to replace him. I thought Hodgson's excuse for not bringing him, saying that he didn't want him to be a cover player, was just the sort of words of a man just backed into a hole that he couldn't get out of. The whole country knew why he wasn't playing, because him and John Terry would probably have a scrap. But he had to come up with some bollocks. So I don't believe Hodgson for a minute, but I do feel a bit sorry for Hodgson, because what can you do? He can't just openly say, because they'd have a fucking fight. So I guess he's got to do what he's got to do, but I'm disappointed for Rio personally, because as I said, John Terry is a bell end. I think team selection in general, I mean, no matter who he selected, you're going to have a million people who aren't happy. But, everyone in the country would probably pick a slightly different team. But I think overall, I think we've got a good side. I was happy to see Chamberlain selected, because I think he's what we need, a bit of pace, a bit of flair. Ashley Cole as well, possible bell end, I don't know, but good player. Again, I always say possible, because I don't not dislike people unless I've met him. Could be a nice guy, but possible bell end, good player. As I say, I think it was a great choice to bring Chamberlain. Welbeck seems to be pulling it out of the bag constantly. Being a United fan, I've watched him all season, and he fully deserves his place there. So I would say the team in general, I mean, obviously you can question Henderson, you can question a few players, but I think in general we've got a good team that I think has just as good a chance as they could have as doing well in this tournament. Let's get to those semis and let's get knocked out on penalties. That's the dream. We can do this. Just put our minds to it. So the man that picked the team, Roy Stig Hodgson. I don't know why I said Stig, but I just imagine him living in a dump. But I think it's almost a bit of a blessing that we have Hodgson and not Redknapp. It's all to do with the media. We have Redknapp as a manager. Suddenly we have the whole country going, we have to win this. We're the best team in the world. We need to win this. Whereas with Hodgson, everyone's just like, well, we're shit. Should we see if we can do this? I think it's great. All that pressure never helps. It's nice now that I personally think we've got a good chance, and I think he's man for the job. His track record is brilliant. Look at what he's done in the past. I don't think anyone can argue really with him. Obviously Redknapp would have been a great manager as well, but it wasn't as if they had like Redknapp or Elton John. You know, it was two people who were both capable of running England. So I think Hodgson definitely good selection. Key players for me, as I said, Chamberlain could really be a keeper. I think if he plays to his potential, semis are reachable. You know. I'd love to see that because I think he's got some tricks, he's got some flair that I'd like to see. Back four, you know, going to need to be solid. I think particularly Ashley Cole coming forward, whipping some balls in. Really disappointed, whipping some balls in. Just said that. Be nice to. I would love to have seen Crouch there. You know, I'm 6'3", he's 6'7", whatever he is. He's repping for us tall white guys. I'd love to have seen him there, but that didn't happen. But you know, Welbeck definitely another key player, and obviously I haven't mentioned him yet because he can't play at the moment. But when he comes back, Rooney could be, you know, the making of England. And you know, being a United fan again, watching the season, he's pretty fucking sick. And so I think if those key players live up to, you know, what they're capable of, there's no reason we can't win this. The semis, that is. No, quarters, and then get knocked out on penalties in the semis. So that's the dream. Chamberlain to score in the quarters, and then us to go out on penalties in the semis against. I haven't looked at the draw, so I don't know who we could go out against, but let's say Poland, for the sake of it. We go out on penalties with John Terry missing the final penalty, so that everyone can just chant Bellend at once, or possible Bellend, because I haven't met him. My lawyers say. Plural, more than one lawyer. Personally, I could watch Spain play football all day. You know, the class they've got in their team. I think it's kind of, I know obviously Bookie's favourite is Germany, I believe, but Germany are more, their team is so cliched, but their team is actually like their country and like everything they do. It's a machine, it's efficient, like, whereas every player is a little cog in the machine and they know what they've got to do. There's a lot of angry shouted at them in training, they'll get a job done. Very different to Spain. But I think it'd be a close match. It'd be great to see Spain play Germany, because two different types of football inside. Germany probably have the edge, but I'd like to see Spain do it. So my favourites, other than England, because I want England to win obviously, I'm going to say Spain. Deutsch. England result 1-1 against France. I personally was very, very satisfied with that. I think France are obviously a good side. I mean, look at their attacking force. Benzema, Nasri, you know, they've got a hell of a team, and I think we held our own against them. We played the football that we should. We didn't try and play like some team that win. You know, we didn't try and play like Brazil and then just get battered. We played the way we should play, and I think 1-1. I mean, look at their record. What was it? 21 unbeaten. That's a good result. 1-1. They're a good side. I was very satisfied with that. Obviously, it was disappointing once we'd gone ahead to concede, but even the goal, I wouldn't blame Joe Hart for the goal. He saw it late. There was loads of players in front of him. I probably would have saved it, but you know, he's a young guy. He might be older than me, I don't know, but you know, I would have saved it obviously, but we can all sit here and nitpick. Overall, very, very satisfied with the result.